What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel where I discuss the CPA exam, the accounting lifestyle, and everything in between. If that sounds awesome to you, hit that subscribe button below. Welcome to the family. Alright guys, I have been getting a bunch of messages from you guys over on my Instagram DM, and I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for reaching out. So make sure you guys go follow me on the gram to DM me all of your questions. But since I do get a lot of questions on my Instagram DM, I sometimes feel kind of bad in the way I address the question because I'm not able to go as in depth as I would like to on the answer. So I thought it would be an awesome idea to actually start making videos kind of around the questions I get on my Instagram DM, since if one of you guys, I'm noticing, if one of you guys have a question, typically a bunch of you guys have the same question. So as the point of this channel is to provide as much value and as help as I can to you guys, I'm gonna start answering the questions directly on here. So now, let's hop into the question. So for these videos, I will keep you guys anonymous unless for some reason you want me to shout you out, which I do not mind at all, but let's go into the question. Hey Brian, I have a question. I just realized that I need 150 hours to take the CPA exam, but I'm only going to graduate with 120 hours with my bachelor's. What did you do? Did you get a master's degree for the extra year, or just take an extra year of classes at the same college? Thank you. So long story short, this person wants to know, what did I do in order to meet the minimum unit requirement to get my CPA license? If that sounds interesting to you guys, let's hop into it. So the first thing I would do, and probably the most important step in meeting the minimum requirement for the CPA license, is smashing the like button on this video. Okay, I'm totally kidding guys, but if you could definitely hit that like button, it'll help with the YouTube algorithm, it'll help grow this channel, and hopefully get this video out to the people that need it the most. But anyways, let's get back to the question, and I'm actually gonna break this question down into a couple parts. The first thing I want you guys to know is you only actually need 120 semester units to actually sit for the CPA exam. But definitely keep in mind that these 120 units that you need to sit for the CPA exam need to consist of a certain amount of accounting, upper and lower division classes. You can't go get a degree in underwater basket weaving and have 120 units and expect to go sit for the CPA exam. It doesn't work like that. I won't go into the exact classes that those 120 units need to consist of, but for example's sake, let's assume you're all getting an undergraduate degree in accounting. Now, keep in mind, the 120 units you need to sit for the CPA exam is contingent upon what state you live in, but for the most part, in 2019, most states only had the 120 unit requirement. And in my case, for example, I live in California, so all I had to do was have my 120 units and a certain amount of units in accounting, which I was able to obtain through my bachelor's degree in accounting. The second thing I want you guys to know is that most states, for the most part, all require 150 units for the actual CPA license. So just to reiterate what I just said, most states only require you have 120 units, and a certain amount of those units have to be in accounting to actually sit for the CPA exam. But in 2019, last time I checked, all states require you to have 150 units for the actual CPA license application. Remember guys, most states require you only need 120 to sit for the CPA exam. You'll need to check on what state you live in, but most states only have the 120 unit to sit for the CPA exam. But almost all states, and this is last time I checked, have the 150 unit requirement for the actual CPA license. But just make sure you guys double check your specific state requirements in whatever state you live in. So now that I covered the requirements to actually sit for the CPA exam and the requirements to actually get the CPA license, now let's go over what I did in order to meet the requirements for both. So if you guys haven't seen the first video I posted on my CPA exam story, make sure to click the link in the description to go ahead and check that out. But if you did happen to see it, you guys would know that I actually did terrible in high school. Since I did so bad in high school, I was actually forced to go to community college because, believe it or not, all of the universities I applied to, none of them accepted me, not even one. And now thinking back, not getting accepted straight into a four-year university out of high school was probably the best thing that never happened to me. Because who knows, if I did go straight into a four-year university straight out of high school, then I probably would have never ended up doing accounting. I probably would have never started this YouTube channel. But that's life. Sometimes the worst things that happen to you in your life are the biggest blessings you'll ever have. But now, going back to what I did, I was back at a community college back in 2009, 2010 when the recession hit, and due to budget cuts, they actually weren't accepting mid-year transfers during mid-year, which it totally sucked at the time, but ended up being one of the biggest blessings in my life. Because of this, I had to stay an additional year at a community college because I couldn't transfer mid-year. But by this time, I had built such a crazy work ethic that instead of taking a break and waiting to transfer and just taking time off from school, I just took a bunch of extra business and accounting classes. And keep in mind, I had absolutely no idea about the CPA requirements at this time. By the time I was about a year from graduating, I was super involved on my college campus with my accounting society, so I knew exactly the requirements I needed to sit, and not only sit for the exam, but get my CPA license. So my last quarter of school, I ended up just taking 2 additional classes at my current university in order to meet the 150 units I needed for the CPA license and to sit for the CPA exam. So I got super lucky with this because if you guys remember, when I was at my community college, 2 years before I even knew I had to take these classes, I took a bunch of extra classes that luckily fit the requirement to meet the 150 units. But if I had to do this again and I only graduated with 120 units, there's really 3 options you can take. You can either go get a master's degree, take additional classes at your current school, or go to community college to meet the minimum requirement. And these 3 options and what you really decide to do is really going to be contingent upon your personal goals. Is getting a master's degree really a personal goal of yours? If it is, then I would say go for it. But please guys, I beg you guys, do not go into a bunch of debt in order to get a master's degree. This is the worst mistake you can make. If you want, you can also take additional classes at your current school. The cool thing is that most accounting programs now know that students are kind of having this challenge of not really knowing what to do for the extra unit requirements. So chances are your school actually already has a program in place where you can actually take the additional units there. So make sure to do your research. The third option you have is to take the additional classes or units you need at a community college, kind of like I did. Honestly guys, at the end of the day, my best recommendation is, in order to meet the minimum required amount of units to sit for the CPA exam and get the CPA license, I want you guys to weigh your personal goals and also the financial aspect of it. Everyone's different in that regard, so always make sure to weigh your personal goals, whatever it is you want to achieve, and also the financial aspects of it, because I don't want you guys going into a bunch of debt in order to meet this requirement. So as long as you can do that, make the best decision that fits your needs. Alright guys, there you have it. This is what I would do in order to meet the minimum required units to sit for and get your CPA license. Thank you so much for watching the video guys. If you found the video helpful in any way, please make sure to hit that like button below. And also guys, don't forget to add me on Instagram at Bryan_Carreto, where you can catch daily vlogs of a CPA and get your weekly dose of men's fashion. Alright guys, until next time, work hard as well. Peace.